Hey guys, welcome back. This is Dan, and thank you for joining me once again for the Red Strings Club, the name of the bar. Last episode, man, that was crazy. For me, it's only been a few minutes as I have refreshed myself. But yeah, we prevented Johanna Seftis from offing herself by jumping off of a bridge. And I gotta tell you, the whole time I was tense. I I know it's a video game. I know it's a virtual character, but I really did not want her to end it all. And you know, we got her to join our side, the revolutionary side, but that helps the game, that helps the story, but I didn't do it for that reason. I genuinely didn't want to watch even this virtual character, this person to end it all by jumping off that bridge. It's just I don't know. I can say I'm certainly not an empath, just because sometimes I get really angry at people, and I do wish them harm. I don't wish them to be harmed to the point where you know you end up in the hospital and stuff. But sometimes I wish them to, like, I don't know, trip on the sidewalk and fall face first into like some dog doo doo or something. I don't know, something like that. You know, I'm not saying like, oh, I wish they were the victim in a bank robbery or something like. I don't no no no. I'm just like, stuff that would be really really bad to have experienced in life, but not so bad to the point where you end up where she ended up. But yeah, man, that's crazy. And something I wanted to point out during that, she said that she joined Supercontinent because they actually did want to change the world for the better. So that wasn't a line. That was something that they wanted. But now, because of the new CEO, Radhika, like, because of that, like, they're making all of these like shady, like, super villain choices, and she is just, I don't know, she's scary or something to that extent that everyone just follows her orders, and it's just crazy. Anyways, we're here back at the bar with Donovan and Akara. This is after Brandeis has saved Johanna, so we'll see where we go. Brandeis is coming back. He's bringing Johanna with him. He managed to get her on our side, huh? That's our Brandeis. Donovan. Hmm? May I ask why you threw Edgar out of the club? I didn't expect you to lose your cool like that. I'd say Dr. Coldstream is a valuable asset for your plans. I'm surprised you decided to kick him out instead of digging for more information. Uh, that was unprofessional of me, huh? I guess I picked that up from Brandeis. Sometimes the right choice isn't the best choice. I may have made our lives harder, but heck if I didn't make myself happier. No regrets. I felt your anxiety levels rising at unprecedented rates. So I determined you made Edgar leave out of self defense. But it's interesting to know how you've justified that to yourself. There's no playing it cool with you, eh? What is it about mirror neuron algorithm that makes you so uneasy? Yeah, the mirror neuron algorithm is now, as I understand it, or as the understanding for me, given what was said in the game, there is a subconscious thing that within humans, according to the game, where it's like monkey see, monkey do. So it just like the saying, if a monkey sees you doing something, it will do the same thing. But in humans, apparently with the game, it said that if the human does the action, even if it's just out of mimicry or imitation, we get emotions or uh, motivation, or I'm really stretching for words here, but we get a response that is triggered by that mimicry. And that is the mirror neuron algorithm. They've created some kind of function within the prosthetics of the people, the implants, that will cause the people with the implants to perform things or do things and feel certain things that will cause this mimicry within people that do not have the implants, that will then cause the desired response that supercontinent wants, which is insanely crazy. Like, I would love to see if there is a real world equivalent, if that's an actual thing that scientists have discovered or have noticed or have experienced or seen, or if there was any studies about that. Because if that's a thing, man, marketing departments all over the world would run crazy with that. I mean, there is something to that effect with the marketing departments, but it seems to be things that they've noticed with human nature, not something that they're like inception, like you're creating this feeling, this emotion based upon something you see, like in with the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, like that you plant this little seed that has this giant consequences in the end, and that's what they're doing. It's crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, they're incepting, they're incepting emotions and conditioned responses within people. Crazy. But why would Donovan be like worried about it? It can affect him, even a non-implant wearer. That's true. If the M&A gets out, humanity is doomed. Being in the wrong hands, that's what scares me. I mean, yeah, but even in the quote unquote right hands, like causing these changes within people that are subconscious, like they're not aware that they're agreeing to these. Actually, now with that said, like maybe the implant wearers have agreed to the, like, oh, you've agreed to us upgrading your firmware and making changes, and you're agreeing to this before we actually make any changes and stuff like that. But the people that don't wear the implants, they haven't made any agreements to any of this stuff. They haven't been informed that this stuff is going to happen and will affect them, and yet here they are. They're in trouble of this. Like, it's that is terrible all around. Now that I'm thinking about it, the all around, like the whole fact that they're pushing these things on us, or non-implant wearers, and the fact that they're going to use legalese to say, well, the people that wear implants, they agreed to this, but the people that don't wear implants didn't agree to this, but they are being susceptible to this as well. What a joke, man. I'm going to go with this. If it gets out, it's doomed, because even in the right hands, it is wrong, like morally wrong. And especially for like a conglomerate, a corporation, they're not going to think about the long-term effects of, like, even if they're trying to better humanity, better the world, they can't think of the downstream consequences of what these actions that they're programming in will do to all of humanity in the world down the line, like 30, 40, 50 years from now. People didn't even think ahead 2 years for what it would do if we were to burn coal, burn fossil fuels, burn all kinds of all this other stuff. And even with studies and scientific findings, there are parts of the world that are burning trash, man, like regularly. And I mean, yeah, maybe like the countries that are having these problems and performing these things understand that, or that there is a complication with it, but it's like I understand that they need a solution, but having a solution for today that will doom you tomorrow was really feels like not the way to go. And that's assuming that M&A stays within the quote unquote right hands and never goes into the quote unquote wrong hands, because right and wrong, that's a matter of perspective. People who wield the power, often they think that they're in the right because might makes right, and for a lot of people that is something that they actually truly believe. Yeah. Anyways, if the M&A gets out, humanity is doomed. Society is about to become an operating system on which corporations will run whatever programs they please. They have enough control with media and technology already. What else do they want? What else is there to take from us, huh? I don't mean to discourage you, but the chances of you stopping all this are very low. So, in case I ever get to be in charge of the M&A, would you mind answering some questions about where to draw the line when tuning social psyche welfare? Hey, that's not a bad idea. Some sort of backup to maintain a sliver of hope for revolution in case we fail. Let's talk about the primary intent of SPW then. How should I regulate depression and anxiety? Woof. Man, don't let people be depressed for more than a month. I mean, man, if you don't regulate depression, you get a lot of people that end up in the same place that Johanna was. Like, because they're with depression, um, it is never ending for a large, vast majority of the people that have it. Like clinical depression, it never ends, and it is a mountain, that some people are just never able to scale. So if you never regulate it, that's pretty tough, especially if they cannot or will not get help for themselves. And sometimes those really negative consequences happen within a month, because sometimes it can get that bad. Life can get bad. And then if you have depression on top of life being bad all at once, you don't have any type of outlet or any way of helping or get help, be helped. I mean, it can go downhill very quickly. But man, anxiety too. Anxiety is crazy. I once had a panic attack, and I would not wish that on anybody. Well, I kind of take that back. Maybe I would wish that on somebody, but it is so debilitating, crazy, crazy. I don't know. Don't let them be depressed for more than a month. Don't let people be depressed for more than a month. I'm okay with sadness, but getting rid of clinical depression may be a good use for the M&A in case we can't keep it from happening. Should I let people commit suicide? Uh, Maybe I shouldn't have said that. That word, because YouTube. But then again, um, I think people who on YouTube are censoring the word, I think maybe they were monetized. My concern about using the word freely is them taking down or giving me a channel strike or something like that. I don't know much about that yet. I learned a little bit about it starting my channel, but I don't remember much about what I've learned. But I don't think allowing people to do that is good either. Really, the best thing would be for people to be able to receive help, like actually decent help, that a professional help. Sorry, decently professional help, and for to allow people to learn to cope, to find outlets, to allow them to get to a better place. Not everybody can be in a good place, but certainly everybody can be in a better place. Hmm. I don't believe this is the way. Just letting people ripshod through and just end everything, because that causes a ripple effect of people being, people that lose their lives, affect the lives of the people around them. And even though most people who go through the act of destroying themselves feel like there is no one in their life that will affect them or be affected by them being gone or miss them, they're wrong. A lot of times, many times, there are people that will miss them, that will be sad to see them go, that will have negative emotions be felt that way. And so there's a lot more that goes into it. And even if there was somebody who literally did not have anybody else, would not affect anybody in the world, and nobody would be bothered or anything like that, I still don't think that this is the way to go. Just because, you know, you remove all possibility of this person changing, being better, feeling better, providing a a net positive to society, humanity, the world, the universe, maybe. You never know. I don't know. I wonder how many great, like, people who have done great things, like these great people. I wonder if any of them, or how many of them, have had depression and have thought about doing this. I don't know a lot about historical figures, but was Van Gogh one of these people? Did he have? I mean, to get at the point where you cut your ear off, I mean that's pretty rough, you know. Yes, as much as it can hurt, people should have the right to do what they want with their lives. Wait, did we just tell her to allow them? Oh man, I don't even know at this point. I was just like, I don't know. I'm monologuing. I'm a villain, guys. I'm monologuing. Well, I guess technically I've always been monologuing as a let's player, even in them. Well, that's not the way I want it to go. All right, let people. Okay, I picked the wrong option. I didn't really want that. Now about violence. Should I allow grape to occur? No, we should not. That is terrible. It should always be consent. I mean, consented foreplay is okay, but yeah, we should not let this occur. This affects. This is just has so much effect everywhere. It's such a large thing. We should not allow it to occur. So much, like, just like with, the S word. There's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of people that get affected, and it's just, I feel like it's morally reprehensible, and I feel like most of the world pretty much feels the same way. I I can't think of a country where this is like actually accepted. I mean, or at least socially accepted by all. I mean, there are some people that I don't know. I don't want. I don't want to get into it. I'm just gonna say no, no. Society's been struggling with it for a long time and never been close to a solution. If the M&A happens to come into effect, at least let grape disappear in the process. Should I let people commit murder? No. Ending people's lives early, I don't feel like is the way. Um, I can't think of how many times, if people were able to change what they could bring. There's always the possibility that there's going to be something better. There's always a possibility that it could be worse. Um, but I don't know. If you're taking it as a business, it's an opportunity cost. You know, there's there's a cost that where you can put something in and get something good out of it or not. I always feel like that possibility of something good happening is is a much greater it is greater than not. I'm just gonna say no. I'm not into censoring any kind of behavior, but if it can save lives, let the M&A erase murder. Should I let hatred such as xenophobia or homophobia exist? Oh man, I'm saying no to everything pretty much. Because xenophobia and homophobia, I don't feel like I don't feel like they're good things, because especially since this hatred comes to a point where it causes people to want to commit very, very violent acts against people, up to and including rape and murder and all that stuff. And but to allow people to feel this hatred, maybe that's the reason she asked to allow murder or not, because I don't feel like, again, I feel like making people change their behaviors and their emotions is completely wrong. But, you know, removing xenophobia and homophobia is would be ideal. It don't get me wrong, it would be ideal. I would love for things like this to be gone. But to force it on people, does that ever work? It never works in law, through um, social engineering, getting people to feel bad or feel shameful for feeling these ways. I mean, like the cancel culture, people feel like even remotely something like this and they get canceled. But everybody's entitled to their own feelings, right? Their own opinions. I feel like they have the right to feel how they feel, but these emotions tend to be so strong it causes people to lash out. But if we could control them lashing out, I suppose. But yeah, but then it causes microaggressions too. Like someone who's xenophobic or homophobic might not hire somebody who is uh the group being discriminated against. And although that is a microaggression, and not meaning that it is small, but I mean in scale, it is smaller than you know um, genocide. But those microaggressions combined all together causes so many ripples through society. I don't feel like it should exist, but to allow people to feel it and make changes, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to make this decision. Why do I have to make this decision? I say no. No. Please, if the M&A becomes operational, let that be gone. Should I let women remain oppressed? We can't say this. What, women aren't oppressed nowadays? They told I mean, even today they are. This is terrible too. To allow people to remain oppressed. I would have thought it would have been great. Actually, I don't know this world well enough to know whether or not women are oppressed. I mean, got a COO who was a woman, um, hacker group that had a female. There were multiple women in power who came to the bar. Um, I don't know. Are they oppressed today? As far as the this video game, I don't know that I've seen anything that would state that women are oppressed. What? Women aren't oppressed nowadays. Oh, what's the matter? My analysis so far hadn't indicated you were that stupid. I mean, come on, man. I mean, in our real life, they certainly are oppressed. Yes. But what is it in the game that has led me to believe that they were oppressed? I mean, they've got androids here that are capable of making all these minute calculations and stuff. We aren't at a point where women are even fairly equal yet. I'm sorry, but I seriously believe that. Don't worry about it. Let's continue. I must point out that you're being a bit hypocritical. Why do you say that? You're all against the M&A, but don't mind using it if a particular issue concerns you. Maybe you're just against how they plan to use it. No, I said all that just in case we failed to stop it from happening. But you could have told me to not affect people at all, and it would be as if you had succeeded. You didn't even present that as an option. And especially since with what I chose, she had called us stupid. After calling us stupid, you're still going to continue on as if like we could have thought of that. Your calculation, your conclusion is we were stupid. You should have provided this as an option for us, and perhaps we would have chosen it. That's on you, Akara. What is it that you want then? Eh, you made your point, but just do as I said if M&A becomes operational, alright? If I happen to get a hold of the mirror neuron algorithm, I'll do exactly as you suggest. You know, I got to experience what I believe was a rush of happiness when you praised me in front of Edgar. Thank you very much, Donovan. I'm glad to hear that. You're wonderful, Akara. You should be proud of yourself. Brandeis and Johanna are about to come through the door. Uh-oh. Ah, I thought the game had frozen there for a second. Ah. Yeah, how are we not at a point now where women are not oppressed? I mean, I understand that, like, the people that make this game are making a comment upon our current society. But, like, how far away is this game? I mean, people are wearing implants that replace their physical parts of their body. They have implants that can control their emotional and psychological behavior, and yet women are still oppressed? What the hell? Like, that is completely, like, that completely blows my mind. It also blows my mind that, like, I mean, where women's suffrage is really not as old as many people may think, because it is fairly recent. But we have made so much progress to bring women from a point of, oh, they're not even second-class citizens, to a point where they have many possibilities. Yes, they're still oppressed in a male-dominated society, and that is pretty much global. But what's to say we're not like 100 years away from them being equal? You know, women being equal. What's to say that that won't happen? We've made so much progress in the 70 years where we're at now, from like the 60s, where women made marches. I mean, and even back in the 40s when women were entering into the workplace because of the World War, you know, they went into the workplace when men had to get drafted into the war and fight against Nazis. I mean, that was, what, 80 years ago? We've come a long way. You know, versus the entrenched multiple thousands of years of men oppressing women. Um, yeah, I don't know. How much can we bring in another 100 years? I imagine that it's like another 100 years from today to get to where we're at the point in the video game where, again, Android got processing power to actually process how we're responding in our emotions using context clues of our facial expressions, our body movements and stuff like that. That is well far away from where we are now, especially to the point where, like, this unit, Akara, could possibly do this on a level that could be definitely more than the city. I'm assuming this is going to be a global event. To have one unit to be able to do that, have multiple units to do that, we have to be at a point, right? I don't know. maybe I am dumb, like Donovan. That, assuming that we would be at that point. I don't know. Maybe we are, like, I am dumb. But I would like to think I'm hopeful that we would get to that point, at least at this point in the future, where I don't know, we've got cocktails and alcohol that can dig deep into people's souls. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. Johanna, this is my partner, Donovan. Donovan, this is Johanna, COO at Supercontinent. Welcome to the Red Strings Club. How are you doing? Fine, thanks. A lot better since your pal here deactivated the rogue implant I had in me. Oh, I see. That means you're not on our side anymore? Not exactly. Brandeis may have freed me from the influence of the implant, but I can't ignore the revelations I had while under its effects. After all, I was dealing with a serious anxiety crisis already before that stuff broke me down. All of this just opened my eyes. Haven't felt this level of clarity since my NGO days. Well, I'm happy to have you on our side then. For the record, don't count me in with your revolutionary lot. I'm still loyal to Supercontinent. I just want you to help me steer it in the right direction. Sure, whatever works for you. Is that an Akara android? Yep. And not just any Akara android, the very one that installed your mind-opening implant. I just have one question. I understand that you had several options at your disposal. Why did you choose that one? I'm sorry. Normally, I'm able to follow the logical steps behind my actions. But for this one, I can't tell. Something inside of me told me to. Something, huh? Inspiration from the machine. How beautiful. And creepy. Beautiful and creepy. Watch your mouth, Brandeis. From the time I've spent with Akara, I can tell they have their own tiny heart. Yikes. Anyway, can we focus on more urgent matters? Tomorrow's our best chance to stop social psyche dumbfare and the mirror nonsense algorithm. How come? Tomorrow, we're migrating most of our network to a more powerful server on which we can run the M&A. Until everything is signed, sealed, and ready to go, there are plenty of holes a guy like Brandeis might be able to exploit. I could work my way in after they finished migration too, but the chaos is definitely going to open up breaches I can exploit. Always a show-off. Listen, Brandeis. The only way to access control of the M&A is through an executive office in Supercontinent's tower. The lightest security will be at Adrian Ferguson's CFO. He's supposed to be absent. Yeah, he got a nasty implant, same as you. I hope he gets a better ride out of it than I did. So that's it. I get into his office and hack the snot out of the M&A. It's going to be trickier than that. In this day and age of neural hackers and cyber warfare, our new CEO's designed a system to level the playing field against your kind. Haha, impossible. They've gone completely analog? Almost. Communications among executives and access to non-critical systems, or rather, to two critical systems such as the M&A, are handled through an old-fashioned landline network. A what? Shoot, that's ancient even for me. When I was a kid, there were already just a few left. It's like a phone, but wired to the wall. It's what we had for getting calls from my grandparents. I think they dismantled the whole network a couple of decades ago. Okay. Well, now with that in mind, that means that the timeline of this game, they are at a point where they're only a few decades from now. Because landlines today are hardly a thing. And if it's only been a couple of decades, all right, I mean, in 20 years, 30 years, yeah, I could see women still being oppressed. Yeah, I just assumed it was way further in the future. Thanks, game, for making me seem like a complete a-hole. That's right, we've got this one built just for us. Even if a neural hacker managed to plug in, it doesn't use the same protocols. It just looks like gibberish to an implant. It's all controlled by numeric commands and voice activation. Lucky me. Yeah, you're just as useful as any other implant-free peasant. Hey, I wasn't being sarcastic. My specialty is social engineering. I have a VOMAD implant which allows me to impersonate anyone's voice provided I have enough biometric data. So congrats, you found your inexpugnable Bastion's Achilles heel. There's still hope then, I guess. Next major obstacle is our current CEO. What do you know about her? I know her name is Radhika and that she's just 15 years old. What? She's just 15? That's right. I see you did your homework. But don't underestimate her based on her youth. She's more intelligent than the three of us put together and ruthless. She took some people out of the game already, if you know what I mean. An incredibly intelligent young sociopath with excessive power who's about to control all society? Okay, I'm officially scared now. If you're about to mess with the new M&A, you'll definitely have to deal with her. Be careful. No matter how smart she is, you can't beat the hard-earned experience of us old dogs, eh, Donovan? Just be careful, dude. Don't sweat it. You know I always land on my feet. Anything else I should know? That's it. Okay, I'm taking the wheel from this point on. Johanna, I need you to get back to your office at Supercontinent and act as if you're recovered. I have recovered. You know what I mean. Just go in there in case I need some inside backup. Now, Donovan, you did a great job. You should rest tonight. I'll need you fresh tomorrow to back me up on the phone. I'll stay here tonight and give you a special massage to get you back in shape. What do you say? Heck yeah, I freaking earned it. Everybody, have a good sleep, and we'll go fresh into battle as soon as Supercontinent's server migration starts, alright? Excuse me? Yes? I can try to recreate some biometric profiles of people who have been in the club since I have analyzed. The ever-useful Akara. Sure, give me all the voices. The thing is, the process takes a while, so it's likely I will have only one ready in time. Okay. Which voice would prove most useful? Oh, man. Okay. Diana, she was in charge of, not the M&A, the SPW. Naima, what was Naima in charge of? Dang. Naima was the attorney, right? Larissa was the marketing executive, and Edgar, I feel like Edgar would be in the lab the whole time, so I don't know how useful that would be. I feel like maybe Naima, because Naima is pretty essential to the inner operations and probably would have the most access to stuff, so let's go with that. Get me Naima's voice. Understood. I'll transfer it to your neural drive when it's ready. Alright, got information about SPW. Alright, where are we here? Damn. Look at this web here. This is crazy. And how... Oh, whoa. What? Looks like there's not that much left here. Fell out of Supercontinent's tower. What? What in the world? Huh. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Ha ha ha. That is kind of a weird thing to say, though. Okay, everyone, it's a wrap. Tomorrow we make history.